Hello, my name is Patrice Bowman. I'm an award-winning filmmaker, editor, colorist, and owner of Bowman Pictures LLC, a production and post-production company. Today, I will be answering 3 questions for international paneling. The first question is, Patrice, can you tell us a little bit about your work and your artistic background? So I'm a filmmaker. I currently live and work in New York City. I'm also a post-production professional, so I edit and color grade. Before that, I attended Yale University, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts degree in film studies with a concentration in production. So all of those classes really contributed to me thinking about what I wanted to do as a filmmaker, and what I ultimately want to do is to inspire, entertain, and educate people. I do believe that filmmaking is a vehicle that can really amplify messages that can positively impact people. Another part of my background and what influences my work is my faith. I'm a Christian. I always like to investigate how that impacts people's lives. And so I was able to take all that I learned from those classes and really begin to sort of continue to make on campus, with all the resources they had, the films that serve as a template of what I continue to direct and write to this day. One of them was Lean on Him. That's a film about a woman who has a crisis of faith when her mother develops dementia. The 2 women are Asian Americans, so this is a film that concentrates on women and their complexity, people of color and their complexity, and also faith and how it plays a role in people's lives. I do leave the ending to be ambiguous because I didn't want to make something that was sentimental. I wanted to be very clear and realistic that as much as faith can be a healing part of people's lives, that doesn't diminish the suffering that people do go through. Lastly, to talk about my work and my artistic background, I'm a post-production professional, and I work in editing and color grading. My editing and color grading for other people's projects, which have ranged from music videos to documentaries to short films, have all continued to hone my own skills as a storyteller, and seeing how other people tell their stories and how I cut together and even color grade other people's stories continues to help me grow as a filmmaker. Like I said, I work on a variety of pieces. Most recently, you can see some of my color grading work at the Tribeca Film Festival of this year, 2021, on the film Cherry Lemonade, and also on the documentary The Passing On, which played on PBS. The next question is, your short film, Saturday Grace, features a lot of movement and music. It is really great. What's the story behind it? And also, didn't that piece win some awards? Well, first off, thank you very much for your positive feedback. And yes, it did win some awards. I'm glad that you and the other festivals were able to recognize the power of the story and the performances and all, and like the choreography that's in the movie, and all the other technical aspects. I'm really glad that it was recognized. So just stepping back a little bit, in terms of the story behind Saturday Grace, ultimately it is a movie about how art, faith, and friendship can heal people. So we're looking at 2 characters, 2 different walks of lives, but they both find human connection in unexpected places. There's Ayana, the woman who lost her husband. She's a worship dancer at church. And then there's Lila, the homeless woman in the park, who was an ex-Broadway dancer. And they discover that they both, are connected because they both do dance. They both see dance as a very, important part of their lives. It provides a source of healing. It also just provides a source of peace. For Ayana, it's also a source where she feels more connected to God because she's a worship dancer at church, so there is a spiritual aspect with Saturday Grace. There's a couple of reasons how this movie came about. The number one reason is I just needed to create more as a filmmaker. The last film that I made at that point, when I began writing Saturday Grace, which was around 2017 or 2018, I hadn't made anything since making Lean on Him as a college senior in 2015. So ever since that movie, ever since graduating, I was pretty much just working in film and TV, working on other people's projects, which was great, and I was able to collaborate with a lot of talented filmmakers, but I really needed to make another film, because as a filmmaker you can't really grow unless you just keep making movies, you keep collaborating with people. So that was number one reason. The other part was that I was always fascinated by dance. I'm not a dancer. I just grew up watching worship dancers in different churches I attended and seeing how their faith really informs their physical movement and their expression as they move to music. So I wanted to investigate the spiritual aspect of that. And I would say that the last reason that I wanted to make Saturday Grace was I just wanted to create something that was positive. At that point, after graduating and working in film and TV, I was doing work as a freelancer, colorist and editor, working on different films about the injustices of the criminal justice system, personal depression, and some of the characters that I was working in, some of the movies I was working on. And I was also working as an assistant editor in the televised documentary space, so working on a lot of news stories that, while important, were ultimately, very depressing. And so I really needed to step back and make something that was life-affirming. And that goes to the last part of the question, the awards. So ultimately, I'm very thankful that Saturday Grace was recognized by, some film festivals and individuals. And so ultimately it did win an award at the Big Apple Film Festival, the Women Filmmakers Short Film Award, and also it won an award for Best Cinematography and Best Editing at the Great Lakes Christian Film Festival. It also screened at the Real Sisters of the Diaspora Film Festival, which is an Academy Award qualifying festival. The next question is, what's in the works and what shows are coming up for you? So the next place that you can see Saturday Grace through Leo's collection and his show of Spirituality of Movement. So you're going to be able to see Saturday Grace outside in a large venue, and people will be able to safely come together as a film watching community and experience the story of faith, of art, and of the power of friendship. I'm also in post-production for my latest short film, Under the Sun After the Wind, which is an experimental adaptation of the book of Ecclesiastes. It's about a Black woman who is isolated with her phone. It takes place during 2020, and she experiences a lot of the chaos of, alt-right violence, police brutality, COVID-19, but ultimately it is a movie about the power of people coming together to protest and fight against oppressive forces. I also am working on a short film that will be a proof of concept for a feature called Father's Shadow, which is about a girl who, after losing her father, encounters what seems to be the ghost of her dad one night. Lastly, I am always on the lookout to collaborate with other filmmakers who care about meaningful storytelling. So if you need a director, if you need an editor, if you need a colorist, please reach out at www.bowmanpicturesllc.com. Thank you very much for watching.